I'm Andrew Rowe, and welcome to the first edition of KHS-TV's Night Shift. Tonight we have a special show for you. As you may know, KHS-TV was able to cover President Clinton's historic visit to Kingston this past October.
We were fortunate enough to be the only news organization in the Hudson Valley to obtain an exclusive interview with the President during his visit. During the next half hour, we'll show you our highlights.
Shortly, we'll speak with our political correspondent, James Tile, about the importance of President Clinton's visit to Kingston.
Tonight's show encompasses President Clinton's complete visit to our city, from his arrival at the Kingston Ulster Airpark to his departure and our interview with him. You'll meet the people whose lives he touched during his historic visit.
Oh, I was thrilled. It was very exciting.
Well, my initial reaction was that I almost fainted.
We were so excited to see him.
We didn't know if he was really going to stop, and we thought that he was just going to wave from his car. So it was exciting enough just to see the Secret Service people.
Bill Clinton, undoubtedly one of the most controversial presidents ever. But what would make a man of such power come to Kingston?
Hi, I'm Brianne Cannon, on top of the hill and across the street from the Hillside Manor, where President Clinton is scheduled to arrive. He's coming to Kingston to benefit Maurice Hinchy's campaign.
I'm Mark Dark here at the Kingston Ulster Airport, where we're awaiting the arrival of President Clinton in about 20 minutes or so.
The Kingston Ulster Airpark's managerial team was assigned to make sure President Clinton had a comfortable arrival.
Well, primarily all our job was to welcome them in here and give them carte blanche to whatever access they need to the facility, and they basically take care of the security of the president.
So is this the highlight of your career here at the airport?
Yeah, I've been here 2 weeks, and it doesn't get any better than this.
It's the first time in 34 years that a sitting president has came to Ulster County. We're hopefully going to get an interview with him and see what goes down.
Although President Clinton did make an appearance for his motorcade, he did not, however, answer or acknowledge the local press. What do you think of Mr. Clinton coming out?
It was all right. Only got to see a little bit of him.
President Clinton made a surprise stop at Kingston's George Washington Elementary School, where many students and staff received more than just a wave from his limo.
When I saw the presidential vehicle drive up, and I knew because it had the presidential insignia on it, and he stepped out of the car, I just stared in disbelief, and then I told the children, there's the President of the United States. This is a one-time thing a one-time event that will happen to you in your lives.
I waited probably half an hour thinking that he wasn't going to come. This was the best day of my life.
The visit that he could relate to the kids very easily because he got the chance to meet a president when he was very young also.
What did you think when you saw the President up close?
I thought that he was going to be taller than my dad, who's about this tall. Me too. I thought he was going to be really tall.
One of the most rewarding things of the visit was that some of the fifth grade students before he came were saying, oh, he's not going to come or he won't drive by and, we're missing our recess. And it was like they were prepared to be disappointed. And then when he stopped and spent so much time with us, it was like they got the message that, sometimes in life really exciting things do happen.
What exactly took place on the other side of that limo that day across from George Washington?
Well, Chris Mergendahl and I got a chance to have our picture taken with the president, and also to have a minute or so to speak with him. And I thanked him for stopping at George Washington School. I I know he does it every day, but for most of us, this is a once-in-a-life experience.
Some of my friends didn't believe it until they saw. They said that they think that somebody started a rumor and it was fake. They said that people are going to want your autographs.
When he got done, I believe that he shook hands with every student and every member of the staff in this school. And then he proceeded on down the street, and his last stop was an elderly woman who he spent at least 5 minutes talking with.
Everywhere I was going in the crowd, the president was coming my way, so it didn't matter which way I was going. Because I would either be by a reporter or shaking the president's hand.
Well, I think it made the students feel like they were personally very special, and each one mattered, that he would stop and make a special visit and come and shake their hands and really show them special attention.
475 students with signs and flags. I think it was hard for him to resist.
We had no idea that he would be gracious enough to actually stop and get out and shake everybody's hand. It was really very exciting. It was great of him.
Hi, I'm Matt DeSaw here on top of a hill overlooking the Hillside Manor, where today, shortly, President Clinton is scheduled to arrive for a luncheon supporting Maurice Hinchey's campaign. We've spoken to Secret Service, who told us that there's a secured area which we can't approach. So we've gathered our equipment up here on the hill to try to get a shot of President Clinton, who's supposedly arriving shortly.
The President of the United States.
Upon arriving at the hillside, Mr. Clinton was greeted by eager politicians, adoring fans, and local onlookers. He also spoke only positive things about Mr. Hinchey's campaign, and had many thanks to the New York community for its help and support over the years.
My heart is filled with gratitude to the people of the United States, and especially to the people of New York who have been so wonderful to me through 2 elections, giving me the state's 33 electoral votes, along with Al Gore. Last time, about 59% of the vote in 52 of the 62 counties supported our efforts, and you will never know how grateful I am.
I did go to the luncheon with my mother and I, and we were so excited to see him. We heard his speech, which we thought was so well done. He didn't even talk from papers. He was able to say what was in his heart, and then he came into the room that we were in. And then he spoke to my mother, and my mother is quite old now, and she said, I only wish you'd run for a 3rd term, because I'd vote for you the way I voted for Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And he bent down and he kissed her. So we had a wonderful experience with the president. We really did.
I'm here with KHS-TV political correspondent Jamie Satile. Jamie, what brought the president to Kingston?
The president came here to benefit Maurice Hinchey's campaign and to help his wife get elected to the Senate, and he also came to help Al Gore get elected president.
Was he successful in helping Congressman Hinchey?
Yeah, Congressman Hinchey got reelected.
Okay, and as well as Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, Hillary obviously got elected to the Senate.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
How are you, Mr. President? How are you? Yeah. My question for you is, as you look back over your wonderful presidency of 8 years, what would you like to be remembered for in history?
Well, it's a little soon to say, but for sure I'd like to be remembered for turning America around and helping to not only move the economy forward, but to improve the environment, improve education and health care, and drive down the crime rate. But maybe even more important than that, to try to make all the American people feel that they were a part of our country and that we were on their side. That's what AmeriCorps was all about. That's what our efforts to help with more support for children were all about. That's what the efforts for hate crimes and a lot of the other initiatives I've taken have been designed to reach out across all the lines that divide Americans and bring us together. And so I hope that I'll be remembered for that, and I hope I'll be remembered for being a force for peace around the world and making America a friend to people in places that haven't heard from us much before.
It was his presence just kind of carried when he came out of the car.
Mr. Clinton, thank you for your time over at George Washington School, first of all.
Yeah, right.
You gave us the opening line to our news broadcast in the morning, which we air every morning, every day. I was wondering what you'd like to say to our high school population of 2,200 kids.
First of all, I like your community very much, and I received a wonderful reception here, and I'm very grateful for that, and I'm grateful for the support I've received from the people of New York in these last 2 presidential elections and throughout 8 years of service. And I would just urge the young people to develop and keep an interest in public life and the issues that affect them. This election today will affect high school students more than it will most of the voting age population, because the decisions that will be made will affect them a long time into the future. The other thing I'd like to do is to urge as many of them as possible to go on with their education, to get as much education as possible, because we're living in a world where what you can earn depends in no small measure of on not only what you know, but what you can keep learning for a lifetime. So be a good citizen, learn as much as you can, have a good time.
He didn't deny anybody handshakes, and just very gratefully shook everybody's hand, and it's very nice.
Who are you going for the World Series, Mr. President?
I'm president. That means I still don't have to take a decision.
Why did you ask the president that question?
Well, because other people here were asking him all political questions and such, and I didn't understand it. So I thought that I'd loosen up the tension between them a little bit, and so I just asked him who would win the World Series.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you this. It may be the best World Series we've had in 50 years. That first game was last night was good, but the first game had the most interesting baseball I've seen in a World Series game in a long time.
Yeah. What do you think about the president coming out today?
I don't know. It was pretty awesome. We got out of class, so that was a plus. But it was pretty cool to know that he's a real person, to talk to us, little high schoolers. He overlooked the bigger corporations or the networks and came to talk to us.
After entertaining our questions, President Clinton and his select cabinet members boarded Marine Force One.
Having the opportunity to meet President Clinton was an unforgettable experience, which I will remember always.
One thing that we'll all surely remember is the tight security which President Bill Clinton had. I remember at one point there was a fire truck which was securing the area right in front of a parking lot over at the airport. Well, to get his attention, I grabbed the KHS-TV sign and climbed up on the fire truck, wondering whether I'd get snipered out or not, and that was right before he got out of the limo, so security was tight, but we got his attention nonetheless.
You really don't get to see the security behind the scenes. The Secret Service and police allowed for the president to have a safe visit. Let's take a look at the action. The president keeps our country safe by controlling our armed forces. But who keeps the president safe? Cops. Cops. And more cops. In an exclusive interview with a Secret Service agent, I was unable to uncover any information on the security that day. Can you just comment on how the security went today? Just anything about it? Do you think it was tight? Do you think it was sufficient? Just anything? Can't do it, dude. Sorry. As you can see, the Secret Service and police were unable to comment. Here, snipers set up shop at the Kingston Ulster Air Park. They made sure local residents didn't breach the secured area. Snipers were also posted at the Hillside Manor, where security was a major concern. And lastly, the K9 unit was used to sniff out suspicious guests at both the Hillside and Air Park.
President Clinton was not the only big-name politician to come to Kingston within the recent weeks.
That's right, Mark. Governor George Pataki paid a visit to our newly renovated City Hall.
Governor George Pataki visited Kingston's old City Hall last Friday to promote his new mortgage plan called Remodel New York. This program is designed to make home ownership and renovation more affordable for first-time homebuyers.
And without further ado, I introduce to you the Governor of New York State, George Pataki.
Mayor Gallo, thank you. It's great being back here in Kingston, and you're right, I did take a walk through about 2 years ago. The building did not look like this. Congratulations, it looks terrific, and it is what it should be, a symbol of the Renaissance of Kingston as we're working to renovate all the older cities and communities of New York State.
Governor Pataki was also very happy to entertain any questions Kingston citizens might have.
What is New York doing in terms of Great Regions program that we have in our state?
Well, the Regions program is important, and what we're doing now is we're raising standards and making sure that everyone's going to be able to read and do math properly in order to graduate from high school. We think it's the appropriate thing, and more than that, we're not just improving the educational system. We want to make sure that when people graduate from Kingston High School, they can stay right here. And we're trying to improve the economy, more jobs so that you can get a job right here, better access to college. We have new tuition assistance programs. So we want you to get a great education at Kingston High. We then, if you want to go to work, we want you to have a job right here in Kingston. If you want to go to school, we want to make it easier for you. We're trying to put the whole package together.
Effect is not just that one house gets improved, but a street starts to get improved. And the volunteer work on Henry Street by Habitat for Humanity and our local junior league, and the good work that happens there, and how that ripples out through the communities and making not just housing more affordable, more quality, but also making our whole neighborhoods better as a result.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
Again, I'm here with political correspondent Jamie Satao. Jamie, how did Governor Pataki impact our community?
He announced a new mortgage plan that'll help homeowners receive loans and that are low interest so they can buy or renovate their new homes.
We hope you enjoyed our first edition of Night Shift.
Join us next month when we'll bring you more exciting local news.
We'd like to end today with a quote by Cynthia Wertheimer, a Daily Freeman reporter who was on the scene with us at the Kingston Ulster Air Park.
All that, I thought, oh, well, if he stopped at GW school, he's not going to stop here. And then when he stopped here, it was really it was much more than I expected. I thought it was just terrific. We had heard this morning he was going to stop and talk to high school students, and when he did, I thought, well, then maybe he's a man of his word, or at least his press person's word. I don't know. But it was very well worth it, and makes for a great story. Great story.